So you guys have heard of the Ash Conformity experiments, right?
Yeah.
So I found this article that was kind of talking about the Ash experiment. They did a replication. So the title was called Group versus Individual Reward in the Ash Experiment Without Confederates. And the study examined whether rewarding participants' principles would affect conformity of the minority responders in the Ash experiment. So what do you guys think?
Does it say their hypothesis?
Yeah, so I think they basically predicted that whenever people were assigned to work in groups, that they would work harder versus working alone, and that they would conform more whenever they were doing the Ash experiment, whenever they were in groups versus being alone. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so were the groups like assigned randomly?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they had, the independent variable was the reward conditions, and they assigned 80 participants randomly, so 3/4 went to the group condition, and then another quarter went to the individual reward condition.
So what was the dependent variable?
Oh yeah, so the dependent variable was the frequency of errors in the 12 critical tasks. So each of the participants had 12 tasks in the experiment. It was basically a replication of the Ash conformity experiment, but again, they had a group and then they had individual.
So what was the result?
Yeah, so the results show that the minority respondents conformed less compared to people who were in groups.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that maybe if there's a bigger group size around, maybe people are willing to conform more.
No. Turn the computers off.
Why?
We're doing the experiment today.
No, Matt.
No, we're doing the experiment today. All right, guys, we're gonna have a little bit of fun today. Okay. So what I'm thinking is we go to Corbett. There's a wolf, and then Breland, mermaid. Yeah, are you guys with me? Yeah.
Nah.
No.
Okay. Well, if it's not obvious, I want to do an experiment. Is what I'm saying.
You don't have a research question.
Okay, you're right. That's a good point. So I guess what my research question would be is, are people willing to conform to seeing something that's not there? So we can go to the mural outside of Corbett, this one right here, and we can tell them that there's a wolf there, and we'll see if they are willing to conform. Or we can even go to Breland and we can see if we can tell them that there's a mermaid there, and we'll see if they're willing to conform to that. Yeah?
I don't think that's gonna work.
Not a chance.
Okay, all right. Anyways, well, we can take it a step further then. So I'm thinking then we could all go as a group, and we'll see if they're more willing to conform when there's more peer pressure. So if it's a bigger group, are they more willing to conform than when it's a smaller group, like with just the one person instead of all of us, yeah?
Okay.
Maybe.
So we force them to say yes.
Exactly.
So Matt wants us to do an experiment today, and he still needs to sign his expense reports by the end of the day.
That's okay. So anyways, we're gonna get into two groups. We'll have one group that has one person, and that'll be the small size, a part of the level of the independent variable. The other level of the independent variable will be the large group that has 5 Pavlov puppies in it and whatnot. So we're gonna go up to people, ask them if they see the fake objects, and Norma, I think, knows the whole story we're gonna spiel to them.
So I think it'd be a good idea to walk up to them and say, we're in art class and we were wondering, our teacher told us that there is a mermaid or a wolf in the painting, and we were wondering if you guys could see it, because we can, and we just want to make sure that other people can see it.
Yeah, so to make sure we have control of the experiment, we're gonna approach every third person so there's not any random selection errors going on. We're not gonna ask people who have headphones in or if they're on their phones, and we're not gonna make any descriptions about color in case people happen to be colorblind. It would just make for weird confounds. Did we have any other control procedures? No.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Hey. Okay. So we're all in this art class, right? And we came out here because our art teacher told us that in this mural, like right in between the guy with the antlers and the lady with the baby, that there's supposed to be a wolf there. So we all found it when we were looking at it, and we just wanted to see if other people could also see it.
You said that's between the guy with the antlers?
Yeah, and it might be a little bit
Kind
like
of
faded.
faded
Yeah.
out.
Oh, is it in like the dark area?
Yeah, right
on
there.
the ground.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like roaring?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, I see it. That's cool.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Have a good day.
you.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, so I'm in this art class, and my art teacher told me to come out here because supposedly there's like a hidden mermaid in this painting, and she was saying not a lot of people could see it, so I just came out here to look for it, and I actually found it, and so I was just wondering if like other people could see it too, so I was just asking people.
Did they say where?
Yeah, it's like more so on the left side.
I don't see it.
All right, well, thank you. Yeah, you know.
Okay, Matt, so you remember that article that I brought up to your attention a while back? So in their article, their results showed that whenever people are faced with a group, that they're more likely to conform and less likely when they're individual. So you said you wanted to see how that would relate to our experience?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically what we have here is most people, regardless of group, said yes, that they saw the objects and whatnot. It looks like our results are pretty similar. And when you go to our p-value over here, we have a 0.73, which means our results happened by chance, a 73% chance that it was chance. Yeah.
Why don't you explain this to me like I'm 5?
The results weren't significant, Matt. I'm sorry.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so next we're going to talk a little bit about the limitations of our study. And just first, does anybody have any ideas of any limitations? Anybody? Anybody at all? Okay, yeah, no, so I agree. Like, I didn't think we had any limitations. I actually thought our
We definitely
study-
had limitations. Definitely.
Well, no, John, we didn't have any limitations. It was perfect. I mean, there was nothing wrong with the study. Like, as you can see, there's no limitations.
We had limitations.
Well, no, we didn't.
Did I
didn't have-
stutter?
John, come talk to me in my office.
Okay, so I think one of our limitations had to do with external validity. All of our participants either go to school here or they worked here, but that doesn't really say a lot about the general population.
I'd say another one would be the fact that one of the murals that we had was like really far. So older people per se were having a harder time seeing it, and just most people in general were actually like, I can't really see that far.
Yeah, or they would try to walk up to it and it just got a little weird.
So another one of the limitations that we had was we did our experiments during the same time period, so we ran into some of the same people. And what else do you think, John?
Kind of the same. We didn't have a lot of people out. Also, they were in the class, and then on top of that, we had a short amount of time like to work while the experiment was going on.